Nigerian government welcomes judgment by United Kingdom court on the $10 billion arbitration case with process and industrial developments.
He commended him for his efforts in the last 4 years.
President Buhari endorses Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State for second tenure.
At the end of December, God willing, it will be commissioned.
On special assignment, correspondent examines alternative means of transportation in the wake of constant bridge collapse. Plus, strengthening legislative diplomacy, Nigeria and Ghana set to establish Friendship Act. Good evening and welcome to the news at 9 on NTA. I am Juma Yusuf. Remember, it's a call to obedience to stay safe and stay alive and not ignore any rule. Tonight, Dotun Ogunyemi is reading with me from Lagos. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll begin with the presidency as the October 10th governorship election in Ondo State draws closer. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo this Friday received the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who is seeking re-election. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the governor, accompanied by chairman of the APC campaign council for the Ondo Gabu election, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos.
The chairman APC caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee, Mai Malabuni, was in the State House to formally present Governor Rotimi Akeredolu as the governing party's candidate for the forthcoming Ondo governorship election. Along with them were the deputy governorship candidate, Lucky Ayedatiwa, the chairman of the campaign council and governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as well as his Plateau State counterpart, Simon Lalong. APC begins campaign for Ondo governorship election on Saturday, and President Muhammadu Buhari is optimistic that the governor's mandate will be renewed by the people of the Sunshine State. This, he said, is to keep alive the implementation of the next level agenda for sustainable socio-economic development.
Mr. President has endorsed him. He commended him for his efforts in the last 4 years. That's what we've been looking for. His blessing, his endorsement, his encouragement and support. And we have gotten that.
When you have a good product and the people have seen and they've agreed with you that that's the choice they want to make, it makes the job a whole lot easier. And so for us, it's really about ensuring that we do not take anybody for granted. That's why we're not going to be resting on our oars. Even when we know that he's done very well, we will still go through the entire gamut of campaigning to reassure them that their governor, our candidate, will continue on a good job that he's doing.
Ondo State is an APC state, and we are certain that it's not going to get out of hand. What am I going to do different? A lot. I have a lot of projects that we have not completed. Today, we speak to the people of Ondo State that, look, we are determined to have Port Ondo. And that is the port that will service the whole of West Africa. I'm appealing to the people of Ondo State, let us see this project to fruition. We need to be there to steer the affairs of state to ensure that bitumen comes on board from Ondo State. That's where we have the largest deposit of bitumen, second largest in the world. And these are things we are convinced we will have to do.
The Ondo governorship election is scheduled for the 10th of October 2020. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
That was the report on the endorsement by President Buhari on the candidature of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State for a second term of office. And we now bring you the report of the Vice President this Friday receiving the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who is seeking re-election. The report.
Excited Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State displaying and flying the All Progressives Congress flag just received from the President as the flag bearer in the October 10th Goba election in Ondo State. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo receives the governor, his running mate Lucky Ayedatiwa, and chairman of the 104-member campaign council, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, giving his blessings and commends the governor for his achievements in the state.
We believe that what God Almighty has enabled us to do in Ondo State should speak for us. And that's why we say to our people, we are boldly the issue of little things we are able to do, write and campaign with it. And I believe that it's resonating very well with the people of Ondo State. And the people of Ondo State can see what we have been able to do. So you can be sure that we are banking on that.
We've just finished with the president, and we felt it's also important on the courtesy to also pay the same courtesy to Mr. Vice President in the same manner, to seek for his blessing and to get all of their support since we're starting off on the campaign.
The Vice President is scheduled to be at the flag of the re-election campaign this Saturday in the state capital, Akure. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Still talking politics, the policies and programs of the Buhari administration are youth-driven in order to reposition young Nigerians economically and reduce unemployment. Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, stated this when he received the APC National Executive Committee Integrity Group in Abuja. Mitera Ekmen tells us more.
The meeting afforded the minister and members of the APC NEC Integrity Group opportunity to take stock of the strides of the Buhari administration across critical sectors. The minister noted that the foresight of the present administration in drafting and implementing the Nigeria Economic Sustainability Plan in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic is to safeguard and consolidate on various economic policies aimed at improving the well-being of the masses.
Look at the new fund established by government, 75 billion for the youths, and there are a lot more which seek to integrate the youth into the mainstream of the Nigerian economy. Give your support to the president, defend him wherever you are, defend your party. Be very proud because of the achievements.
We appreciate you for the support you are giving to these administrations, the good representation you are giving to APC as a party.
Nigerians are urged to keep faith with the Buhari-led federal government in its quest to open more economic corridors for Nigerian youths to thrive. In Abuja, Mitera Ekmen, NTA News.
Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has been commended for providing effective leadership for good governance in Nigeria. Director General of Good Leadership Support Organization gave the commendation at a stock-taking event on President Buhari's political ideology, principles, policies and implementation so far. Francis Form reports.
The achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari in the fight against corruption, enhanced agricultural production, revamping of the economy, and the fight against insecurity, among other developmental policies and programs, is a major reason for this gathering. Former Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi is appreciative of the President's commitment in providing quality healthcare services to Nigerians.
If the President approves universal healthcare as a team for the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, it means he considers it a very big priority.
The party is committed to upholding the political ideology of Mr. President. The man who has shown exemplary leadership.
To ensure that the populace are properly informed about the achievements of the present administration, the convener urged relevant institutions to step up action on public enlightenment.
The political ideology of Mr. President is double-barreled. It is means-tested. It is universal. It is safety net and also a springboard to reaching greater heights.
Good Leadership Support Organization is a politically oriented non-governmental organization with the mandate of entrenching ethical political ideology, principles and policies in the polity. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
Talking judiciary now, a British court has granted Nigeria more time to appeal a $10 billion arbitration case with the company Process Industrial Developments PNID. The judgment is regarded as a relief in Nigeria's pursuit to overturn the $10 billion judgment awarded against the country 3 years ago. The federal government says it is pleased with the outcome from the court hearing. PNID won a $6.6 billion arbitration award after a 2010 deal to carry out a gas project in Nigeria collapsed. The award has been accruing interest since 2013 and is now worth nearly $10 billion. The court ruling now allows the federal government to bring the challenge well outside the normal time limits. Meanwhile, the presidency says it welcomes the judgment by the UK court describing it as right, just and one that provides a relief to file a strong prima facie case that the fraudulent gas deal with PNID and the arbitration award were a clear attempt to cheat the country out of billions of dollars. The presidency expresses delight with the processes that led to the outcome in the English court, noting that it has given relief to the Nigerian government to further protect the national assets from criminally minded organizations and individuals. It notes with satisfaction that the court, among others, had ruled that Nigeria established a strong prima facie case that the gas supply and processing GSPA was procured by bribes paid to insiders as part of a larger scheme to defraud Nigeria. President Buhari commends the team of lawyers who represented Nigeria and reassures all well-meaning Nigerians and the international community of his unwavering commitment to fight corruption in all its forms and manifestation. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the ruling by the British court that Nigeria can proceed with its challenge of the $10 billion arbitration against the country. Anthony Fosun reports.
The story made rounds that Nigeria has been found guilty for breaching the contract. The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed and his justice counterpart Abubakar Malami, alongside the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, former acting chairman EFCC Ibrahim Magu, and other top government functionaries arrived in London to tell Nigeria's side of the story.
When this administration came in, was that from the blues, we were slammed. We think it was about $9.6 billion damages that we had to pay to the P&ID ostensibly for breach of contract. And at that time, what they did was they employed and hired one of the most effective publicists in the world. And Nigeria was gripped with the fear that our foreign assets, our oil, will be attached. And that is when we started this campaign. Our campaign, as I said, we were quite clear in our mind at this office that this matter will be won not just in court of law, also in the court of public opinion. So one of the first things we did was that we found out that the entire country was gripped with fear. Investors panicked. So we moved, first of all, to Lagos to address the captains of industry, bank chairmen, bank MDs, the industrialists, to tell them, listen, we are going to contest this. We will not pay a dime. We know that we have a good case. The whole thing is fraudulent, and please don't start disinvesting in Nigeria. That was the first thing we did.
And so on the day the case came up, Nigeria was granted the opportunity to appeal the judgment with some conditions, which it met. And following yesterday's ruling in favor of Nigeria that Nigeria can challenge the case, Lai Mohammed says it is a plus for the country.
Nigeria can now breathe a sigh of relief. Until this judgment of yesterday, Nigeria was still living in fear. If, for instance, the Court of Business and Property had ruled that we were liable, then it means that we have to pay $10 billion in damages to PNID. And all our foreign assets and local assets would have been in danger. But as of today, what it means is that either the matter will go back to arbitration, at which point we'll be able to show the whole that the whole thing ab initio was a sham, or they will have to set out of court. But of course, I'm not preempting the legal team, what they are going to do. But right now, we have a second chance, which is very important to us.
Anthony Forson, NTA News.
I am now joined by a legal practitioner, Kaide Ajulo, to shed more light on this development. You're welcome to Network News.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you.
I'm grateful.
A landmark victory celebrated by Nigerians and the presidency. Is it yet Uhuru?
Well, from what transpired today, particularly with this judgment, I would say it's more like a decisive victory for Nigeria. Particularly if you can take a recourse to what happened right from the beginning. This is more or less an arbitration award of over, as of today, almost 10 billion naira. And by the same Arbitration Act, that is section 67 and 68, gives whosoever that want to challenge such decision some latitude, particularly to give some reason. And one of the reasons is to say that the judgment is tainted, particularly the process tainted with some fraud, with some scam. And if Nigeria, as of today, has been able to prove that, because though we are still going back, but one thing that is so clear today is that the judge, in his wisdom, has already come to conclusion that there is a primary partial case, that the whole thing is threaded in scam, is fraudulent, and with that, we are so sure that it is like you see how a day will be start from the beginning, from the morning. And with this, I think we need to congratulate ourselves, particularly patriotic Nigeria.
Okay, the federal government appears set to proceed to a full trial of the issues at stake. So what are the chances of overturning the arbitrary award? And now that we are outside the limit, we'll be allowed to challenge
this. The chance is so clear, though what forbid me to predict what will happen. But there are some times you can see, if today it has been proven and that there's a primary facie case of fraud, and that one alone is very decisive, is very, very cogent. With that, of course, any other thing can be upturned. And as of today, that one is so clear that first, the procurement of that contract is threaded in some fraudulent practices, particularly when the court has already arrived and could make the conclusion that it's more like it's being paid for. And secondly, also those that gave the judge the evidence, particularly some testimony, they lied. Because you are saying that you have some money about $30 million to execute the contract,
yes.
But whereas it has been found that the 40 million naira you are saying is a contract in Lekki, how can you move both together? And there are many things, including unfortunately some Nigerian government officials that seem to have compromised their position. All this thing has led to one thing, that there is a grand conspiracy to scam Nigeria of its hard-earned money, and today that one has been revealed. And I believe the others, whatever that happened, is more or less a formality, because it has been so proven and so shown today that this thing is shrouded in fraud, and with that, at least we know where we're going.
This is the second high-profile, fraud, concerning the Nigerian government, and the president is saying there is no room for criminality in our system, and fraud will not be allowed. So, how do we prevent a reoccurrence of situations like this?
Well, there are a lot of things, particularly as a lawyer, I would say this. One of the problems here is this. The Attorney General of Federation, particularly when it comes to such cases, he today remains the chief legal officer of Nigeria. When it comes to executing or perfecting such high-end contract, he must be taken into consideration, and he must know what is happening. But in this, by the time you check the history of this contract, Attorney General seem not to know much about it. Particularly, you find out that all those in the Ministry of Petroleum, that is their legal officer, seem to know what it is. Yes, they are representing the Attorney General, but there are some cases, there are some contracts that must have his direct input. That is one. And apart from that, we have to be patriotic. If you are asked to man a place, you have to do it and show that you are patriotic, not because of 10 million naira you sell your fatherland. And I think this is the take home that all Nigerian officials must be up and doing. And I want our law enforcement agency must be up to tax to deal with whosoever, and that's why most of us do always talk about reward and punishment.
Yes.
Those that have done wrong, they must be punished severely, and
so
those
do
that
we
have
see
done
a prosecution in the offing soon?
No, certainly, I believe there must be. At least this one should serve as deterrent. The money, if they've succeeded, I'm sure you and I will not be sitting here. It will take over 10 billion naira from a country, particularly when we are facing all the stress today, and such money should go. I think some people need to be taken down, and they must be dealt with.
Okay, Barrister Kayode Ajulu, thank you so much for shedding light on the latest development on the PNID case. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time. Now, similarly, the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has applauded Nigeria's landmark victory in the 10 billion lawsuit instituted by Process and Industrial Development's PNID. The Buhari Media Organization says it considers the judgment a victory for Nigerians and President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, whose single-mindedly determination and commitment ensured that Nigeria is not ripped off by a foreign company. The group noted that President Muhammadu Buhari has brought a new philosophy to governance as decisions and policies are made for the overall interest of the people rather than narrow, selfish interest. The Coalition for Good Governance and Change initiative has called on Nigerians to keep faith with President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, saying the new fuel price regime is not static as been projected in some quarters. The group, in a statement, explained that what is important is the availability of the products and the sincerity of the federal government in implementing policies for the betterment of Nigerians. The coalition, made up of 38 civil society organizations, encouraged Nigerians to applaud the government rather than the pocket of criticism, trailing genuine policies for the benefit of all citizens. It is also asking distribution companies to meter every household and not to take undue advantage of consumers by giving ridiculous light bills that are not yet payable. You're watching the news at 9 on NTA. We are live in Abuja. Let's take a break for some commercials. The news continues shortly. Don't go away.
We don't almost reach, Abby. Okay. Guys, the mechanic is almost here.
Madam!
So what do you think is wrong?
Madam, no be smart way they worry this your bike, carburetor and radiator. You don't bafuka. If you want fix them, 50,000.
I guess I have no choice. Give me size 10 Allen Q.
Madam, the top don't spoil now. You need to buy new one. New one at 16,000.
Thanks for the help, guys. I'll be on my way now. For renting your tools.
Do what you've never done before. Find your first with these mega data plans. Dial *777#.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites all ministers, head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Federal Permanent Secretary and top government functionaries to a 2-day performance review retreat to be presided over by His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Monday 7th and Tuesday 8th September 2020. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Venue, State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Objectives of the retreat include create transparency on the status of implementation of policies, programs and projects of government and provide roadmap towards the delivery of government's 9-priority agenda during the first year of the administration. Provide opportunity to deepen the understanding of ministers and other participants on the best practices towards ensuring effective delivery on government's business over the coming years. Registration for the retreat will take place on Sunday, September 6th, 2020 at 4 p.m. and also on Monday, September 7th, 2020 at 8 a.m. at the State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Attendance at the event is mandatory for those invited. Please. Announcer, Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Guess what?
What?
I scored a hat-trick today.
Cool.
Wow.
And how did you celebrate?
Just do your hands like this.
And hold your nose like this.
Body odor is caused by germs. That's why you need the new improved Dettol Cool Soap, which protects against 99.9% odor-causing germs with an extra burst of menthol freshness. Dettol, be 100% sure.
At Elizade Autoland, we don't just sell quality, we build quality. JA
JAC Motors, assembled in Nigeria by Elizade Autoland. Increasing high demand for fleets of JAC Motor brands by members of the public and private sectors. JAC Motors are clearly built with one purpose in mind. They are built to serve. Elizade Autoland, sole distributor of JAC Motors in Nigeria.
Refresh your confidence with the liquid-filled Center Fresh gum. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness. Ready to be one of our 2005 daily winners? Win cash prizes and airtime daily with Center Fresh and fruits. Check the back, text the code to 38353. 10,000 Naira and 5,000 Naira daily cash prizes to be won, as well as 100 Naira daily airtime. Campaign runs from the 1st of September till the 31st of October 2020. Terms and conditions apply.
In these uncertain times, one thing's certain. We're in this together. So Clean Protect, the antibacterial detergent that removes 99.9% germs while it cleans. Because germ-free clean is the real clean that we all need. Do your best to protect your family. So Clean Protect.
Who says we have to go back to normal? What if we choose to be open and say, I will never call my job unimportant again. I refuse to be a stranger in my own living room. I'll lead like a woman, and I stand by every word I say. Make my vote count, make my voice heard today. See, I'll never forget how much stronger we are together. I'll carry that in my heart forever. We'll weather the storm, so I'll be open like never before.
Welcome back. Advice has gone to Nigerians not to let off their guards, irrespective of what the nation records. And the COVID-19 pandemic number of infections in the last few days has been on the increase. But Oni of Ife, Oba Ade Enetan Ogunwoshi, says it is not yet uhuru for the country on the pandemic. The monarch, who is on courtesy visit to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, comments the federal government on the response to COVID-19 and explaining that traditional rulers too are always on their toes, enlightening the people on the pandemic.
Protecting ourselves, we have to be very careful. Thank God the federal government is looking at how to open the economy the more. We haven't had very large critical mass infection. So we thank God Almighty that has helped us thus far. And I will give that credit to the people in PTF. They've done very well. Okay.
State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Oba Ogunwoshi also gave kudos to the president for leading by example. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehenere, has described the news making the rounds on social media that Nigeria has taken delivery of the Russian COVID-19 vaccine as misinformation. Dr. Ehenere explains that a virtual meeting was held between the Russian ambassador to Nigeria and officials of the Federal Ministry of Health, where the ambassador presented details of the vaccine to enable Nigeria study it for possible interest. He says the Russian vaccine is still in stage 3 clinical trial and not yet ready or certified for use in any country. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and other relevant government agencies to urgently assess the situation in areas affected by flood disaster in Jigawa State, with a view to providing the much-needed humanitarian supplies. In a statement, President Buhari commended the prompt response by the Jigawa State government and assures the readiness of the federal government to deploy the much-needed assistance as required. The statement added that the President would continue to follow very closely reports of flood situations across the country and ensure that relevant federal agencies are well prepared to respond to such disaster and to mitigate associated risk. 4 persons have died and lost their lives in Dago village of Warji local government area of Bauchi State following a heavy downpour last Sunday that flooded the community. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that Governor Bala Mohammed was at the community and assured them of government's intervention.
The devastating effect of Mother Nature is no doubt incomprehensible, as homes and at least 150 farms were destroyed in the Dagu village of Warji local government area after hours of heavy downpour last Sunday.
The Ministry of Works is directed to come here and design a flood drain in the town so that at the end of the day, this thing will not happen. We are going to work with the federal government, with other public-spirited individuals and the organized private sector, the international community, to make sure we take inventory of all our environmental problems and challenges.
We keep emphasizing to people that whenever you are building, you must make sure you study the terrain, you must make sure you did not block water passage to avoid this unnecessary flood.
With several local government areas already affected by flood, the government of Bauchi State, through the State Emergency Management Agency, will train 800 volunteers as a rapid response squad for emergencies. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed, NTA News.
And on bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Ghana, a joint committee composed of members of the legislature of Nigeria and Ghana is to be established to explore and sustain relationship between both countries. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that this formed part of resolutions reached at the end of the legislative diplomatic engagement between Nigeria and Ghana over trade dispute.
In resolving the trade dispute, which puts Nigerian traders and authorities in Ghana on collision course following implementation of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, the meeting resolved that Nigerian traders will be supported to regularize activities in view of the hardship occasioned by closure of their shops amid the coronavirus pandemic. The Trade and Foreign Affairs Committees of their legislatures will also meet to recommend appropriate solution to apply the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act. A Nigeria and Ghana Friendship Act is also proposed for establishment. The Nigerian delegation, led by House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, also met with the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, who assured the delegation of his readiness to consider resolutions reached during the meeting. Lami Ali, NTA News.
To Labour matters now, the Nigerian Labour Congress and her trade union counterpart have condemned what they described as unfriendly industrial practices and violence against workers by the Rivers State government. This reaction is premised on the invasion and sealing of the NLC Rivers State Council Secretariat at Port Harcourt by the Rivers State government. Labour has alleged that the Rivers State government only realized that the building it built and commissioned needed structural tests immediately. Workers started making stringent demands for their rightful entitlement to salary adjustment based on the new national minimum wage, release of withheld salaries, promotion, payment of arrears of old pension and gratuity, and remittance of check of dues to unions.
NLC and TUC and our civil society allies, in the discharge of our constitutional right, will embark on a peaceful process in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, come September 8, 2020, to protest these nefarious acts.
It is because we are pushed to the wall, and that is why we are taking this action. All efforts to resolve the issue amicably, not leading us to this, failed with Governor Wike.
Labour says it will continue to demand that the rights of our workers in the workplace, their safety and sanctity of their lives, which must be respected both by government and private sector employees. Security matters, the air component of Operation Thunder Strike has neutralized several armed bandits and disrupted their camps in the Kaduru and Kwambana forest areas of Kaduna State. A statement by the Coordinator, Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enetche, indicates that this was achieved through separate airstrikes carried out on 2nd and 3rd September 2020 on the heels of credible intelligence reports showing that the two locations were being used as staging areas by the bandits. The air component dispatched Nigerian Air Force jets and helicopter gunships to attack the Kuduru forest hideout after aerial surveillance confirmed bandit activities within the location, scoring accurate hits. Similarly, at the Kwambana forest, bandits were seen along with many rustled cows among some huts and makeshift structures. The nav jets and helicopter gunships engaged the area in successful passes, neutralizing some of the bandits. With constant collapse of bridges across the country, the issue of alternative means of transportation, many believe, is one solution to be given serious attention. Correspondent Oyinaya Kalu Okar examines this issue and its impact on transportation development.
From human porterage, animal means of transportation, the waterways, then to the complex ones. Transportation in Nigeria over the years has evolved from the simple to the complex. With about 10,000 kilometers of waterways connecting about 26 states, rivers have played a significant role in the transport sector. With colonization then came the rail, but over time, due to neglect and mismanagement, both the rail and waterways means of transportation started disappearing. Attention now shifted to vehicular movement, with the roads becoming the most commonly used, accounting for more than 90% of passengers and freight movements. Data indicates that in 2018, Nigeria's road network is about 200,000 kilometers. From this figure, there are more than 58 vehicles to every kilometer of road, which is above the national average of 11 vehicles to every kilometer. With this pressure, the road suffered, leading to constant damage has been witnessed in some states across the country.
It's not easy because as you are seeing, vehicles are following the same lane.
However, the intervention of the federal government by rehabilitating the rails, many say, is a stitch in time.
The initiative they brought about railway is good. It's a good thing.
We thank him for not engaging in policy somersault like previous regimes have done.
The Abuja-Kaduna rail already in operation, the soon-to-be inaugurated Lagos-Ibadan rail, and the Itape-Warri rail line, it is believed will help in reducing pressure from the roads, besides other benefits.
At the end of December, God willing, it will be commissioned, and then attention will focus on the segment leading to Kano.
Between Itape and Abuja, we pray soon the COVID will end and they will come and start construction.
The commitment of federal government in reviving the waterways, experts say, is commendable but believe more needs to be done in this sector. One of the serving longest ports, the Barrow Port, rehabilitated last year but without good road, is one case to be looked into.
The road is being addressed because apart from the federal government giving out a contract to do the road, the Niger State government are also conscious of the need to see what they too can do.
The efforts of federal government in reviving the transportation sector, experts believe, can only be achieved and sustained with alternative means of transportation. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The long hours of driving from Abuja to Katsina or after landing in Kano by air is now over, as Katsina State indigents will now enjoy direct flight from Abuja Airport. Aviation correspondent Emmanuel Amimuro reports that the inaugural flight, which has a state governor Aminu Bello Masari and other prominent Katsina indigents, was filled to capacity.
The dream of arriving Katsina within 1 hour of takeoff, like it is happening at other destinations, where there are non-stop flight operations, has been eluding Katsina people, not anymore, as the sky is now open to welcome the wing of the air. An elated Governor Aminu Bello Masari flagged off the inaugural flight to the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Airport.
This route was tried
sometimes in 2007 and 8, but it was abandoned because of lack of patronage. So we are calling on the indigenes of Kaduna and those in neighboring Kaduna, or those who have business to do in Kaduna, to patronize the airline so that the route will become economically viable.
We've been waiting for this day, and the day is here today. We have to thank Almighty God. It would have taken a long time, taken 6-7 hours from Abuja to Kaduna is gone.
Quite a number of people going on our flight to Kano are actually heading into Katsina. So this is a very delightful event.
And the people of Katsina could not hold their joy when the flight arrived. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Let's pause here as we join Dotun in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Jubai. The Lagos State government has urged international travelers, especially VIPs, to comply with COVID-19 protocols for safety ahead of resumption of international flights from the 5th of September. Lagos State Deputy Governor Dr. Obafemi Hamzat reminded passengers of the need to be cautious while assessing the level of preparedness at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Nosa Usla reports.
The federal government had earlier released new guidelines for air travel and other airport users since it began the gradual ease of restrictions on businesses after months of lockdown due to COVID-19. The deputy governor, who explained that the protocols were in the best interest of passengers, said he was impressed with the level of preparedness.
Our responsibility is to make this airport the best that you can get anywhere. So we will work with FAN to make sure that happens.
The managing director of the Federal Airports Authority, Captain Rabiu Hamisu Yadudu, assured air passengers of a safe and seamless travel experience when international flights resume.
We're expecting 3 airlines tomorrow, starting with Middle East Airlines around 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. For those that are physically challenged, ours is primarily to ensure that when you transit from one area, maybe from the entrance to the check-in to the waiting hall to the boarding gates, the facilities make it possible for you to seamlessly transition or be transitioned across these different areas.
Yadudu added that the new standard operating procedure is aimed at protecting all stakeholders and preventing further spread of COVID-19. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
As schools in Lagos State prepare to resume full academic activities, the government is setting up measures to ensure uninterrupted and improved standard of learning. This plan will be actualized through the intervention programs by the Federal and Lagos State Universal Basic Education Commission. Hingenugent Adams reports that to realize this goal, teaching and learning equipment were presented to 6 inclusive units in the state.
The world focuses on achieving Sustainable Development Goals 4 and 10, which center around attaining equitable quality education and reducing disability-based inequality. Nigeria is also committed to providing all-inclusive and relevant basic education for citizens. In order not to leave any child behind, the Lagos State government, through the Universal Basic Education Commission, in its intervention program, has presented specialized vocational and instructional materials to enhance learning.
With talks on school reopening already gaining traction, this intervention will help in revitalizing these 6 beneficiary inclusive units, in line with our resolve to create quality, equitable, all-inclusive and relevant basic education in Lagos State.
Teaching and learning will be promoted, and the quality of instruction as well in terms of delivery will also be enhanced.
6 inclusive units, Badagry, Etiosa, Ibejuleki, Koshofe, Lagos Island and Mushin are among the first beneficiaries.
They'll be able to identify the areas they have skills.
This equipment will enhance, will help the teachers, will help these children
There are some of them that may not be able to read and write to some level. So at least they will have another knowledge.
The equipment are expected to ease the practice of teaching and learning for special students in the state. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Let's take another break. Network news will continue shortly.
Bros of life! Bros of the next life! Bros of the life of the next life! Una! Arrange your voice for cash now!
Hola. Shoo. Mind yourself. Social distancing, please.
We observe social distance in this house. You maintain your social distance.
Do what you've never done before. Find your first with the best data deals in town. Dial *777#. Glow Unlimited.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. The delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
Available in stores at 18 naira.
Helen Paul!
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes.
To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach. Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
It's looking really good.
Good at something requires strength. It requires putting in more. That's why the new improved Bonvita is packed with vitality and a richer, creamier taste.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46.
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
Thanks for rejoining us. The Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Professor Umar Dambata has reiterated the Commission's commitment to delivering on its mandate of driving digital economy by advancing industry growth through strategy, professionalism, innovation and regulatory excellence in the next 5 years. Professor Dambata said this during a virtual interactive session with media chiefs and news editors in Abuja. Joseph Johnson reports.
Acquainting journalists of his scorecard in the last 5 years and the thrust of his administration in his second tenure as chief regulator of the Nigerian telecoms industry, Professor Umar Dambata was quick to acknowledge the fourth estate of the realm as critical stakeholders on the journey so far. He enumerated the facilitation of a 42.02% broadband penetration as one of the key achievements of the Commission under his chairmanship.
Our tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is to come up with an implementation plan, okay, leveraging on the various policies of government and to ensure we deliver was a mandate assigned to us by government. In the same way, we tried to deliver, courtesy of the National Broadband Plan 2013 to 2018.
5G deployment, quality of service delivery, licensing and SIM swap were some of the issues deliberated upon by participants. These are very unusual times, and with the new normal in town, the telecoms industry would have to deal with being on the front burner more frequently than ever before. It is hoped that the regulatory body will play its part effectively to keep to the path of the greater good. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Now, the viewer's popular television program in the 80s and late 90s, The Village Headmaster, will soon return to the screen of Nigerians. This follows the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Nigerian Television Authority and Wale Adenugwa Production TV Limited. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the partnership is also assessing options for the reintroduction of more television drama shows that were favorites of Nigerian viewers in the last 2 decades.
Long and nearly forgotten memories of the thrilling television program Village Headmaster is returning after decades of its disappearance on Nigerian screen. This is happening as the management of the Nigerian Television Authority signs a memorandum of understanding with WAP TV Limited to explore a new dawn of reawakening Nigerian content television series show with a renewed touch.
I would like to personally assure everyone that the new production of the Village Headmaster will be available on TV to millions of families across Nigeria and beyond, starting in January 2021.
We need to look at a co-production of Zebrodaya. We need to look at a co-production of Magana Jarishi. So the sky is the limit. And with Wale Adenuga and NTA, I think it will take a lot to beat us.
This is just a glimpse of a flashback of one of the episodes with faces of pioneer characters that brought diverse feelings to viewer and gave Nigerians a sense of fulfillment.
The teaching profession needs me. Rubbish.
What did you say, Mr. Garba?
Nothing, sir, nothing.
I see. The headmaster, you see, I've just come to apologize for the trouble I caused on you on account of these common entrance palaver.
The partnership is building a new roadmap to driving an indigenous television content programs into the broadcast ecosystem and to promote TV shows peculiar to Nigerian people and culture. With the new partnership, the two organizations hoped to allocate more airtime in the promotion of local programs that project true African image. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
It's so exciting, I can't wait. Now, the board of the Federal Road Safety Commission has approved award of various degrees of punishment to 28 officers in the Corps in accordance with the provision of the FRSC regulation on discipline. The officers were found culpable for desertion, forgery, number plate racketeering, bribery, scandalous behavior, driver's license racketeering, patrol misconduct, among others. The sanction consists of 8 dismissals, 10 termination of appointments, 5 reduction in ranks and 5 loss of seniority. Board Chairman Buhari Bello said that the disciplinary actions are to serve as deterrent to others who may form the habit of contravening established regulations and tarnishing the good image of the Corps. Corps Marshal Boboye Ayoyemi also restated that his administration will continue to operate on the tripod of consultation, reward and punishment. Let's take a break. We'll be back right back.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
There is good news for Barcelona fans as all-time leading goal scorer Lionel Messi has